Let you give you the mirror link of the ports and terminal.
Yes. So currently I'm working based out of the Excel first. Then later on I'll populate into the Miro. Unless your preference is that we work out of the Miro board.
No, the mirror board that I created.
Mm.
Do you have the chance to see it?
Yes, I've already seen it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. It's just that we add in a few more questions.
Can hopefully I can answer. Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much. So
Mm.
let's start off with the role of a stevedore.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can just give me um, a description of your understanding. What are their role?
So what I'm going to share, right? Uh, I would say that it can be it may not be the same depending on the kind of context you are talking about. All right,
Mm,
because stevedore for different terminals, right, may be different as well. All right.
mm-hmm.
So in general, right, a stevedore is a person
Yes.
that ensures safety when you're loading and unloading of your your goods. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So for stevedores, you can say that they are the kind of people that handles the trucks. You can be the people who are handling the forklift and the cranes. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And there are also stevedores that manages the lashing equipments. All right. So to us, we use the word stevedores, but if you're talking about in different contexts, right? So if you search online, what you search in Google now, I can say that by telling you straight away what does Google say.
Mm-hmm.
So a stevedore is a person who loads and unloads freight cargo to and from ships. They must be able to safely and efficiently operate cranes, forklift, hand trucks to convey cargo. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is a generic term given by Google. But if you're talking like in a Singapore context, right,
Mm,
a crane is called a crane operator. It's not a stevedore. You see, there's a really different names. So what
mm,
they do is that they go up the crane, the one that you can see in Pasir Panjang terminal. They go up, they sit down there for 6 to 8 hours a shift, and they load and unload containers. All right. You are also having like crane operators, which is different for bulk, where some of them they do not have to be very near to the vessel. They are from somewhere near to the berth or terminal because all of the bulk, if you're talking about sand, ore, right, is all being transferred by a conveyor belt. So things like forklift, you have Singapore term forklift operator. Trucks, you got a truck operator. But in other parts of the world, they are all called stevedores. All right. So for my background, stevedores are people that goes. Okay, for my background, right, I come from a container ship industry.
mm-hmm.
So a stevedore for the container ships are the people that goes on board of the vessel and unlash containers
Mm,
or lash containers or put in the twist locks. All right.
mm-hmm. Okay. So
So
yeah.
do you know what does lashing and unlashing mean?
Can you explain more?
Okay, let me go to Google and see I can give you pictures or not. All right, so let me share my screen. Could you see my screen?
Yeah.
So all these kind of people, right? They can be called stevedores. This is a good one, or they can call a lashing crew. All right. So This is what they call lashing and unlashing.
Mm.
Okay. So when you put on the containers, right, it doesn't mean that you put on the container, your vessel is ready to go. You know, vessel will hit the wave, you'll move around, in a sense like hogging, sagging, twisting of the vessel. So all these containers, right, need to lash. So they need to be lashed onto the vessel itself, so that you keep them rigid. So this is called lashing and unlashing. So before the vessel leave the port, they need to be lashed, and when they are ready to be offload at the destination port, then they need to unlash it. So this is where they also use stevedores or lashing crews to do the job. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So from my side of the world, your stevedores are the people who are doing the lashing.
Okay, sure. Okay, so basically that is their role.
Yeah, but like I say, if you look at Google, they have multiple roles, just that we have different names for it.
Okay.
Mm.
So who do they report to?
So again, this is also very complex. So your stevedores, depending on the nature of the terminal, right? You can have stevedores that belongs directly to the terminal, or you can have a stevedore company. That means they contract out to a company that's specialized in doing stevedoring jobs. You know, terminal is a very complex operation, so most of them are subcontracted. So you will have contracts to be like your agents, your boarding agents, you got your husbandry agents, you got your water agent. So same thing as your stevedores. So your stevedores can be independent companies. Yeah. So it's not necessary that they belongs to the port or they belongs to the terminal.
Okay. And what is their daily routine like, based on your understanding?
So their daily routine is almost repetitive. Like I say, if a container vessel, right, that means the container vessel, they will have a schedule. If it's a contract company, right, they will know when is the vessel is coming. They'll be there ready for the vessels to come in. Once the vessel is berthed, then the work starts. So if you're talking about a container vessel, once the vessel has been docked or berthed, after they have given the green light saying that, hey, I don't have a PSV inspections, cargo operations then start, then this group of people will go up and they'll unlatch the containers, and and then once the containers are unlatched, then the crane operators will start unloading the containers. So when they are unloading the containers, in between the containers you have twist locks. So these are also the locking mechanism that locks the bottom container to the top containers. So as the containers are being done, then they'll have to take out the twist locks. So this is something that they do. And once all the containers has been discharged, and the new containers are up, then that's where they do the reverse. They put in the twist locks, the containers will be locked in place, and once all the containers has been done, then they go back up and do all the lashing. So this is something a stevedore does.
I see. Okay. Okay, that's great. So what are their main priorities?
Safety. They must ensure that the goods are unloaded or loaded safely,
Mm.
and they don't get themselves killed, because
Okay.
there is a very high percentage of death by stevedores. They fall off. They fall off from the vessels and stuff like that. So a
Mm.
typical vessel, right? Uh, like if you see off, if your place or if you're Pasir Panjang or even at your marina when you see a vessel, right? Those with container. What you can see is just those out of the water, above deck. We call it above deck. So if a vessel is 11 containers high and a life gauge, one container is about the height of your house, slightly shorter. So it's almost 10-story up. And it can be also 10-story down under that. So it's a 20-story height. So if they don't do properly, they fall off, there's no chance of survival. So it's quite a hazardous job.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yes.
So okay, so their main priorities, like you said, is purely on safety.
Safe loading and unloading, safely loading and unloading of cargo and their own safety.
Okay. What sort of improvement do you think they'll be looking for in their current workflow?
This is something that we will have to talk to them, not talking to me, because I'm not the one doing the job. If you're talking about workflow, there's actually not a lot, because it's a manual work. Improvement will be on the equipment that is being used. So in the past, there were improvement on twist locks, so that the stevedores don't have to go on board the vessel to twist and untwist the twist locks. Let me try to find a picture for you. You see this on the right?
Yes.
So this is called a twist lock. So these twist locks are at the four corners of the container. Okay, like this. So this is a manual process where someone have to go there and manually turn the twist lock so that you can unlock the containers.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So in a few years ago, there were inventions of making this automatic. But due to high weather and the containers bobbling around, I know I'm using a very soft word, bobbling, but it's actually quite scary. The twist lock gets untwisted on their own when they were introducing something called fully automatic twist lock. So because of that, they revert back to semi-automatic. So semi-automatic means the human has to be there to unlock it. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Of course, you can talk about lashing bars, lashing strengths, which is the equipment. But unless we are making billions of dollars, right? Lashing bars are using steel, which are very, very heavy. There's really nothing much you can do about it unless you use titanium or more expensive materials for lashing bars. But that is not how the industry works. They use the so-called the cheapest material with the strongest tensile strength, but it's also very heavy, 20-40 kg, and they use their bare hands to do the lashing.
Okay.
Yeah. So all these, right, are very, very heavy. Yeah. So all these are manual process. I can say there's really not a lot of workflows unless you're talking about they sending feedback, complaining that, hey, this vessel, the lashing bars are not properly stacked, is of not good quality. Hey, the twist lock, a lot of them are broken. They are not being replaced. So this is more of a feedback.
I see.
Yeah. So that's that's all I can say, at least
Mm,
from the container industry lah.
I see, I see. So based on this scenario, what are their common challenges?
Common challenges
Mm,
like say the integrity of the hardware use the lashing bars.
I
If they're
see.
not lashed properly, they can't unlash, then they got problem If the previous spot does a wrong job and when they're unlashing and there's a snap, then that's the end of him
I
seriously.
see, I see. Mm.
Yeah.
How so when that arises, how do they overcome them?
What do you mean by overcome them?
As in, like, when the challenges arise, um, whether is it the attachment of the container and all that, how do they
Okay.
overcome them?
How did they overcome them? I give you a
Uh,
live example that I have. All right.
uh,
So one time I was there on board learning all this kind of stuff, and they were like trying to unload a container. All right. And for some reason, the twist lock got stuck. So you know what they do? They call
what
the
did
guy up. They
yeah.
call the guy at the container, the crane operator on top. All right, saying that
Mm,
this twist lock is a little bit stuck, so they need a little bit of help. So after that, they call us to move away. And so what the crane operator did is that he lift the container, shake and bang the container back onto the deck to shake loose the twist lock. And that is a very dangerous maneuver because when he was lifting, 3 containers was stuck to the hatch cover. And if you are talking about a 24-ton container times 3, which is 72 ton with a 50-ton or 60-ton hatch cover, that is about 300 ton of force being jingled by the crane, and they lift it up and drop it a little bit to bang
mm,
on the vessel just to loosen up the twist lock.
I see.
So it's a little bit of brute force. It's very scary, uh, but it's the daily job.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what has been done? Is it against safety regulation or it's not?
Uh, if you can say it's against safety regulation, but if you think about it, having everybody cleared of the place, getting the crane operator to jingle the container, right? It is technically a lot safer than uh, stevedore putting his hand in between the 2 containers, trying to loosen the twist lock, which may get stuck and crushes the hand.
Mm,
So it's a choice of the lesser evil lah.
okay. So this is how they manage the safety issue lah.
Yeah, they will they will ensure that everybody is cleared, and the crane operator will do the job. So
Mm,
at least when you're clearing the people out of sight, right? At least nobody will get hurt. There will be no
mm,
flying debris, and it's
mm.
better than you, as in not you as the stevedore trying to put his hand in between the 2 containers and trying to maneuver the twist lock and getting his hand crushed. Yeah, because
Okay.
24 ton is equivalent to 24 cars. There's no way you can recover your hand.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That's very dangerous.
yes.
Uh, and who do they usually report the safety issue to?
To the company, their own company, and
Mm,
if there's a very big issue, they will stop work. They will tell the terminal manager and say that I'm not going to work. This vessel is not safe. Then the terminal manager will have to talk to the vessel operator, and the vessel operator will have to find someone to resolve the issue.
mm. So in their scope of work, is there any digital tools
No,
they are currently
no,
using?
no,
No.
no, no.
Mm. And in regards to that, are they tech savvy?
Are they tech savvy?
Mm.
Define tech savvy. I will believe all of
So,
them will know how to use a handphone.
okay.
Define tech savvy.
So basically, let's say there's some sort of digital tools that they can be using at their work in their
No,
daily
no,
work. Do you think
no,
they are?
no. If you see right, if the picture shows you, everything is done by hand. There is no
Mm,
digital tool for this.
I see. So any knowledge of their stevedores using RightShip products?
Nope,
Nope.
nope, not that I know of.
What will entice them to use RightShip products?
If the company wants, not the person, and
Mm,
if they want to report, because this is also a commercial thing,
mm,
they report a lot of bad issues, right?
yeah.
Let's say operator don't like it, the terminal will also not hire them. Because their job is to ensure the cargo is being loaded and unloaded safely.
Mm,
Unless it's a big issue, of course, you have a letter of demand. Hey, you're putting risk of life on my guys and stuff like that. And a lot of these companies, a lot of these stevedores are under union, so they are union protected as well.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Mm. So if they do adopt RightShip products,
it will be just
who,
feedback reports.
okay, who will be paying for products like that?
I will say it will be the terminal. They will not do it, one. They got
Terminal.
nothing to gain, yeah, because they got nothing
Mm.
to gain.
So their company won't pay for it, lah.
Why
It's
would no? Because stevedore they does it. They are contracted. Once they finish, they go.
mm,
If you want to have a safety, a feedback of the vessel and stuff like that,
mm,
they are not going to do it because it's not their job. Their job is to finish already, next
mm.
vessel, next vessel, next vessel. That's it.
I see. Mm.
Mm.
So if there's anyone who be paying for this kind of digital adoption, it will be the
Terminal.
terminal.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. And for example, what sort of feature would they be looking for?
It's just a feedback report. So I would say
Feedback.
that it will be
Mm,
a mobile app. If they use a phone, take a picture, send a complaint. That's about it.
mm. Any
Because
other
you
feature? Any other feature that they might need other than the feedback report?
uh no, I don't see anything.
Mm. Okay, that's cool. I think we covered a lot on stevedore. Maybe we can move on to the next role, which is a marine pilot.
Hmm.
Mm. What
So
would be your
why
understanding of the role of a marine pilot?
why not this time round you tell me after you have gone through my mirror, right? What is your understanding first? Then from there I can see what I can fill in.
Okay, I need to bring out the mirror. Um, okay.
Because I don't want this to be more just like you asking question, I giving answers. I prefer that I share so that you yourself really understand how this thing works and how the thing clicks. So it also be beneficial for you.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, sure. Just that actually, this is more like an interview that I'll be asking question and trying to hear from the person that I'm interviewing.
Okay, then if that's the case, come, let's try first. So marine pilot, offhand, what do you think first? What does the word mean? What is marine pilot?
Give me. I guess. Okay, I'm not looking at the mirror. It's just that my wild guess is more like, they will guide the ship.
Yes, and you're absolutely correct. That is the main job. So a marine pilot, all right, are people who are normally, not usually, normally ex-captains, ex-chief officers who no longer want to sail the vessel across the ocean, but they still want to be in the marine industry. They become marine pilots. Or there are people who just choose to rise up the rank as a marine pilots. All right. So the main job of the marine pilots is to, like the word pilot, to guide the vessel into the earth. All right.
Right.
So you may think, why do you need a marine pilot? The vessel can just come in on their own, no, because we are blessed in Singapore that all our berths are very deep. They are about 17, 18 meters deep at the berth. All right.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So our vessels can, in a sense, come in on their own. All right. But in Singapore, you still need marine pilots because Singapore is a very busy water channel. You have vessels leaving or coming in or passing the so-called the ocean highway, right, any one time. So sometimes you still need a marine pilot. All right. But marine pilots, you can see the skill of the marine pilots in countries where the berths are inside or upstream of the river, or the seabed is uneven. All right. Do you understand anything that I just said?
So basically, it's the depth of the sea, and if it's too shallow, then the more they need the marine pilot, probably like on board to guide them in.
Let me see what I can do. Okay, I can't do anything here. So let me try. So the seabed, right, is not flat. All right. So there are troughs and valleys in the seabed. All right. So the pot that you see, right, does not mean that the seabed is, of course, the one at the berth is flat because it's being dredged. But the journey from outside the ocean to the berth, right, it's not very straightforward. Certain places you will have coral, certain places, touch wood, you may have old sunken ships, or like say you got troughs and valleys and stuff like that. So the pilots are the guys who know in depth the geography, so-called the landscape of the seabed, and they know that which part can you cross and which part can you not cross. If the vessel just happily cut across to reach the berth, they might get stuck or they'll hit the seabed. So that is why the pilots need to go on board and tell the captain, oh, at this part you need to turn left, on this part you need to turn right. And they also have to say that, hey, this part, currently the wind is very strong. You need to have extra power on the vessel so that the vessel don't get shifted too much to the left or too much to the right. So they are the one who knows intimately the situation from the ocean waters or the anchorage all the way to the berth. All right.
Okay.
So that is their job.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
And who do they report to?
So it's the same thing. Marine pilots, not all pilots report to the terminal. They have their own companies. They have their own marine pilot companies. They have their own marine association or unions. So in places like in Europe, they have their own associations where they talk to each other. They have also their own contracts with the terminal. If you're talking about US, they got own unions. So only certain companies are allowed to do the piloting for certain ports. It's also the same for Singapore where you have pilot services and stuff like that. So all these are also contracted jobs.
Okay. What would be their daily routine?
Go on board the vessel, pilot the vessel to the berth. And when the pilot is ready to go, they pilot the vessel out to the sea again.
I see. So basically you are saying that they guide the captain on the step that he should be taking.
Actually, they don't guide. Once they go on board the vessel, they take over command.
Oh, they don't take over the command. Okay.
Yeah.
And what are their main priorities?
Guiding the vessel safely to the berth.
And what sort of improvement would they be looking for to improve, their current workflow?
So this has been discussed when I did demos for terminals, right? So some of the marine pilots, they will say that they can act as a surveyor itself. The marine pilots can go out. They can be the kind of people who take a look at the condition of vessels. They can make comments on the vessels. They can also send feedback report about the vessels. They can also see what are the issues in the previous port. So there were talks that if we are able to give them information like, hey, what happened to the vessel previous port? Like, hey, was there engine failure? Was there any engine issues and stuff like that? Then they will be able to take extra care when they are piloting the vessel to the berth.
What are their common challenges?
Common challenges at work?
Yes. Any thoughts on that?
Not dropping into the sea when trying to go on board of the vessel.
Is that considered a very big challenge?
There are people who misstep and die.
Oh, okay.
Because the vessel is not stationary, The vessel is still moving, even if it's not like moving forward, right? It's because of the sea, right?
Yes.
It's up and down. We have to go up the Jacob's ladder.
Yeah. I think I saw that before, yes.
So, and if you're pilot in the day, it's okay lah. If you're pilot at night and you misstep, you're Yeah, most probably drop into the sea lah.
So,
And
even at wee hours of the night, there'll still be pilot going on board.
if you're talking about the container industry, they don't stop. It's 24
Oh,
hours.
24 hours.
It's no stoppage. The port don't stop.
Mm.
Yeah, there'll be vessel in and out all the time.
But what
They
if there's,
say,
like,
mhm.
bad weather?
If there's bad weather, it's not the pilot. Everything stops.
Mm.
The terminal will stop. So like in China, right, it's always fog. So
Mm.
when there's fog, terminal operation stops. So if
Mm.
terminal operation stops, you don't need the pilot to bring the vessel into the terminal area.
Mm.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. How do they overcome this challenge?
You're talking about bad weather?
No lah. Bad weather, obviously, you can do nothing about it. But like the common challenges at work.
Yes. I would say if you're talking based on right ship, there's really nothing much we can do. What we can
Mm.
do is to provide enough information about the vessel before they start taking the boat ride to sea to go on board of the carrier.
Mm.
Apart from that, right, there's nothing you can overcome because the overcome is because of nature. If the vessel gets stuck in the middle of the transit to the berth, if there's high wind and stuff like that, then that's where their experience come on board. Right?
Mm.
There are different levels of pilots. Not one pilot can pilot any ship. Right?
Mm.
There are ranks of pilots. They
Right.
are based on the years of experience, the kind of vessels they have done. So like if you're talking about those, you go Bintan, the kind of small vessels, of course any pilot will do lah.
Mm.
If you're talking about your 2005, 3,500 container vessels, you have maybe a lower rank pilot. Then we are talking about a 25,000 TEU vessel, which is like 400-meter long. Then the demands of the pilot will be different because your braking speed, the time to change your speed, the time to maneuver the vessel all plays a part. So all this is experience. All this is not something that technology can replace.
Mm.
Mm.
And what is their safety point of view?
Vessel. So when they go on board of ship, they will have to check the cleanliness, uh, the condition of the crew,
Mm.
the the condition of the bridge. Like I want the vessel to turn left. Hey, it takes very long. Maybe the computer is not working. Hey, the engine is something. Or when
Mm.
you're on board the vessel, hey, I feel some shaking. I can see the power flickering off and off. Is there any engine issues and stuff like that?
Mm.
So they will report safety issues of the vessels that they think is of concern.
Mm.
Hmm.
How do they manage the safety issue?
They can't manage. They will just send a report to the terminal, and the terminal will talk to the vessel operator.
Okay. So basically, for any safety issue, they report to the port. Who is the party that they report the safety issue to?
Dependent. You can report to the terminal, you can report to the port, or you can report to the port authority. It depends on
Mm.
the structure of the. It depends on the structure. I will say that.
Mm. What are the
Then
tools that they use?
now they don't have.
Oh.
because they go up, they based on the experience, they guide the vessel now, so there's no tools. The only tools that we can have now is to give them somewhere where they can check the past history of the vessel, the condition of the vessel, or maybe the crew of the vessel. Maybe now they have to go into the office to do it, or they get an email from the port. But they have to do all this before they go and guide the vessel.
So are they considered tech savvy in regards to this?
I will say so, because now all your vessels are all computerized, right? So they have some knowledge of computer stuff.
Are they currently using RightShip products for any idea, any of the pilots?
Not that I know of.
What will entice them to use RightShip?
If we are able to give them the information that they need, then they will use RightShip. Who pays
what
for
sort
them?
of information?
I say just now already. The condition of the vessel, was the vessel being done a PSC? Are there any deficiencies? That kind of information.
I see. And will they pay for?
No.
Who will be
We
the
will not
paymaster if any adoption of?
For rest of all your personnel, right? It's all the terminal.
Terminal.
Yes.
I see.
They are contractors. They can report, but if you want them to use additional software, unless the software becomes their company software, the terminal will have to pay for it.
I see. Okay. And what sort of features do they need in a?
I would say your feedback report, the PSC report.
PSC.
Yeah.
What
Port state control.
Sorry?
Port state control inspection report.
Port state control inspection report.
Yes.
I see. Any others?
My guess, current weather. But apart from that, nothing else. Not that I know of.
Okay. Very well. Right. So I think we can move on to the next one, which is a berth planner. What would be your understanding of their role?
I'm using the berth planner as a context for container.
Yes.
I don't know whether are there berth planners.
Regards to the ports and terminal. Yeah.
No, it's different because the ports and terminal for us is dry bulk. Dry bulk and container vessels are totally two different industries. So I do not know whether berth planner, do they use berth planner in dry bulk? Okay. Berth planners are meant, for what I know, is for container industry. So most of them resides in the terminal building. All right, they are not at the berth. So what they does is, for container vessels, the carrier operations, which they call it as stowage operations or stowage planner, they will send a stowage layout to the berth planner. So what is a stowage layout? A stowage layout is basically the instruction to terminal saying that, hey, this is the X number of containers at which part of the vessel that needs to be offloaded, and what are the containers that needs to be loaded. All right. So all of this information are given to the berth planner. All right. So with that, they will know on high level how many container cranes are needed to ensure that the let me revert. So the stowage planner sends the stowage to the berth planner, all right? So the berth planner will take the stowage layout, they'll go and search for the containers. So all the containers at the terminal are in a container yard. They are not placed in order. So maybe this vessel is going to berth at berth 5. And if the container is going to go berth at berth 5, the berth planner will have to shift all the necessary containers from everywhere in the terminal to be on standby at berth 5.
Mm.
So they have to plan where are all the containers, move the containers to the place where it's going to be loaded. Based on the storage layout, they will roughly tell the carrier say that, hey, on average, I need 5 cranes or 6 cranes to finish the whole cargo operation. Then the berth planner will check and see whether do I have 5 cranes or 6 cranes. Then they'll plan. So a berth planner don't plan only a single berth. Sometimes they'll plan 1 or 2 berths simultaneously. So if this vessel needs 6 cranes, I only got 5 cranes, and I know that the berth beside only need 4 and I got 1 spare crane, then they can move the crane from maybe berth 4 to berth 5. So they need to plan all of this.
Mm.
So once that all of that has been done, then they'll pass it. They will put all this information into a software called Key Commander, and they will plan the whole loading and unloading cycle.
I see.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. Who do they report to?
They report to the berthing manager or the terminal manager because
Mm.
they belongs to the terminal.
Mm. And what is their daily routine like?
I just told you the daily routine.
Okay, that would be the one, yeah.
Mm.
Okay. What do you think are their main priorities?
Their main priorities is to complete the cargo operation in the fastest and safest time possible.
Mm.
That is
What
their
sort of
priority.
that is their main priority, yeah? Mm.
Yes.
What sort of improvement would they be looking for to enhance their current workflow or simplify or anything
That
that
is
improvement they're
their
looking for?
communication with the vessel carrier.
Mm.
Yeah.
See. And what is their common challenges?
Common challenges.
Mm. As a berth planner, what sort of challenges that they commonly face?
Actually, not that I know of, because they mostly just take the containers,
Mm.
place it on one side, and the crane operators does the work. I don't really see a lot of challenges.
Mm.
Yeah. If the communication between the carrier or communication between the storage planner and the berth planner is good, you don't really have a lot of challenges.
Oh, okay. So it's more of a communication point of view.
Yes.
Mm. And what would be their safety point of view?
Safety point of view.
Mm.
That one offhand is very hard to say, because
Mm.
what they do is always pre-operation. So everything is done by computer. As long as they get the sequence correct, there's really nothing of the safety. There's nothing much safety they can do, because it's all computer simulation.
I see.
Mm.
So they will just work according to the plan
Play,
itself.
yes.
any scenario
No,
whereby they have
they will
to
not
change the
use
plan?
anything from the ship. Oh, change your plan.
Ah,
If after the vessel berth they realize something is amiss,
and who do they report to if there's anything that's amiss?
we shall be a terminal manager.
Mm,
So when I say something amiss,
yeah.
it's like the crane operators pick up a container and you see something leaking. Then they
Mm,
will stop operation, they'll put the whole container at the berth. Then your HSSE officers, your police will all come in. So everything gets stopped just to see what is happening to the container.
mhm.
So a berth planner, right, usually it's just to plan what is pre-operations. Anything happen in operations, right, amiss will be the terminal manager or the operation managers will take over.
Mm.
Yeah.
What sort of tool are they using? Any idea? Like currently using?
80% of the terminals in the world use Spark under Navy software. It's a terminal operating system.
Mm.
Yeah.
So in that case, can I say that they are tech savvy?
You can say that lah.
Mm. Are they using Redshift products and any?
No,
No,
cannot,
not at all.
not possible.
Not possible. Okay. Why is it so that's not possible?
Terminal operating system is not a application that you can just buy a laptop, install, and that's it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
When you build a terminal, right, you already have the terminal software built together with the terminal.
Mm.
It's a multi-million project. It's not something, and it takes months and years. And even if you were to change a terminal system, it will also take months and years. And they will have many redundancy or dry run before you put a terminal system into production.
Mm.
If the system fails and the terminal gets stuck for 1-2 days, we're talking about hundreds or even tens of millions of dollars lost.
Yes.
So it's not something that you will want to touch it.
Mm.
Yeah.
So so you feel that for Redshift, right, there won't be any possible opportunities that we can build any features for this group of people?
no, no,
No.
not at
Okay.
all.
Okay. Right. Okay, that's good. Let's move on to the next one. As a terminal manager.
So a terminal manager is a guy that manages the terminal.
Okay, so that's their role.
Yeah, so they go through all the operations, they go through your berth planners, they make sure that all the berths are running properly. Yeah, so that is your terminal manager.
And who do the terminal manager report to?
Most probably, if you got multiple terminal, will be your operations manager. If not, you go straight to the chief operating officer.
And what would be their daily routine like?
If I can say, will be they'll check the schedule of one of the vessels that's going to come here. Did they do any safety fire alarm? They'll talk to your HSSE. They'll talk to your operations manager. They'll know what is the vessels. What is your productivity? How is your productivity? How can you improve? You have your operations productivity meetings. You will have to entertain visits from the carrier. You will try to find things for collaboration. And if you got incidents, you have to attend your incidents meetings, insurance meetings,
I
Basically, they
see.
run the terminal.
Okay.
Mm.
What will their main priorities?
The main priorities will be safety of all everybody at the terminal. Terminal is actually a very dangerous place to work. You ensure that all your safety regulations are adhered to. You have to ensure there's no trespassing. Then you have to hit your KPI priorities to be the fastest and the safest terminal, so that more vessels will call the terminal.
I see. And is there any improvement you think they will be looking for?
So if you're talking about RightShip aspect, will be for safety, will be to know the condition of the vessels that's coming in. What is the the safety aspect of the vessel? Is there anything that they need to take note of? So the terminal managers can review RightShips, either PSCs or feedback report from the marine pilots and stuff like that, so that they can decide whether, hey, this vessel, should they stay in this berth or should they stay in another berth, or do they need to take extra precaution on this? Yeah. So that is something, a software the terminal manager can use.
I see. And are there any common challenges that they would face as a terminal manager?
That's the challenges is done every day. Like what I told you, right? All of the things are challenges to them. Maintaining safety, maintaining HSSE, maintaining that the berth is on time, there's no stowaways, no illegal activities. All these are challenges that a terminal manager faces every day.
And how do they usually overcome these challenges?
Ensure regulation, rules and regulation are adhered to.
Do they have a like what their safety point of view?
I just mentioned, right? The safety point of view is to make sure everybody is safe in the terminal. Yeah.
And if there's any safety issue that arise, how do they manage?
Depend on what kind of safety you're talking about. So if you're talking about people smoking in the non-smoking non-smoking area, of course you have your warning, you have your fines and stuff like that. If you're talking about being spot check about your crane maintenance, all that, then there will be a question by the COO lah. If you have safety issue of containers falling and killing someone, then it becomes a national problem where your police, your port authority, all will come into play lah. So it depends on what kind of safety aspect you're talking about.
I see. Who do they report the safety issue to? Would, like you say, is the port authority?
Depending on how severe. Internally will be the chief operating officer or the operations manager.
Okay, that is for the lighter case.
Yes.
And what if it's like severe cases?
Then the port authority will come into play.
Okay. What sort of tools are they currently using? Any idea?
Nope, I do not know. But most probably it's also part of the terminal operating system, because everything is linked.
Okay. In that sense, they are probably tech savvy.
Yep.
Any of this group are using RightShip products?
No, that's the market that we're trying to go in. It's very difficult market.
Very difficult market. What do you think will entice them to use RightShip?
It should be the safety, to be able
Safe.
to provide information of the vessel that's arriving.
Mm.
Yes.
And then who would be like the paymaster for this kind of
The terminal
adoption?
themselves, the
Terminal,
terminal themselves.
Mm. And feature wise, what do you think they need?
I say the PSC report,
Mm.
the feedback reports. So that actually, this is where the PSC reports, if you can provide them, they don't have to search online, it'll be easier for them. Feedback report, so that's the thing. If they pay money to the stewardess and the marine pilots, then that's when they send the feedback report, the reports go into the Rideshare platform, then the terminal will be able to see and they're able to access. See the connectivity.
Okay, cool.
That is why they have to pay.
Right. Okay, moving on. The last two rows. Hub. Yes.
Can we
Anything to add?
schedule another? Can we schedule another meeting?
Okay, sure. We can continue again. Maybe you can later on you can let me know which day and time you are available. Then we can continue with the last two.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sebastian.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you have a good lunch. Yeah.
You too.
Thank
Bye.
you. See you soon. Bye.